Hola chicos, ¿qué tal? Hoy estoy aquí para enseñaros los animales. Okay, so we're going to learn some animals today and then we're going to talk about some plurals, how to make them plural, etc. I've had to borrow some friends today. One of the best ways of picturing vocabulary is with a picture. So if you're learning the Spanish, it's good to get in your head an image of the picture that you're thinking about, as well as obviously understanding the word in English. So we've got that's the kind of grammatical term for that is using realia or real objects. So that's what I'm going to do today. So, estoy aquí con algunos amigos, los amigos de mis niños. So, para empezar, tenemos un perro, ¿vale? Un perro. Un perro. Bien, un perro. Fantástico. Ok, otro amigo. Un gato. Now, don't get confused with French, because gato in French is cake. Okay? Un gato. Un gato. Bien. Okay. Aquí. Can't see his face very well. Un conejo. Un conejo. Un conejo. Bien. Un conejo. Un conejo. Bien. Próximo. Un ratón. Un ratón. Un ratón. Un ratón. Bien. Aquí. Un pez. Un pez. Now this is different to the word for fish that we eat. Okay? So un pez. Un pez. Un pez. It's got that th sound. Un pez. Aquí. Un caballo. Un caballo. Got that yes sound there. Un caballo. Bien, un caballo. Y in my house we've got a lot of these. Un mono. Un mono. Aquí hay un mono. Un mono. Bien, un mono. Fantastico. Now, you might have noticed that all of those are masculine. Okay, so I did manage to find an animal at home that is feminine. It may not be one that you're a particular fan of, but maybe you are. Una araña. This is actually mine from when I was little. Una araña. Okay, una araña. Una araña. The spider. Una araña. In case you can't tell. Una araña. Bien. Okay, fantastico. Okay, so when it comes to making the plural, hopefully you've managed to pause that and go through the animals a couple of times just to practice saying them. And a lot of the time, some of us do just have the one animal, so we want to say sentences like, I have a dog, for example. But you may well have more than one animal, in which case you want to be able to say that you have 2 dogs, or 3 fish, or 2 mice, for example. So we're going to run through the rules for making our nouns plural. Okay, now there are 3 groups of nouns to make plural here, and each one kind of follows a different pattern. So we're going to start with group 1, which is the ones that end in vowels. Okay, so a lot of the animals that we run through, perro, caballo, mono, araña, all of those end in a vowel. So for that group, if I have un perro and that dog finds another dog, okay, now I've got dos perros. Okay, all I need to do to make 2 dogs is simply add an S. Okay, so that's group 1. Un perro, dos perros. Or for example with a feminine, una araña, dos arañas. So that's the group where you just add the S and they end in the vowel. So that would be the same for an animal ending in an E, for example, like elefante. Elefante, which is a cognate. Hopefully you can recognise that as elephant. Elefante would become elefantes, dos elefantes. Yeah, so that's group 1. Okay. Group 2 is the words that end in a consonant. So for example, raton, here I have my mouse, and if I wanted to have 2, dos, two mice, for example, I need to add an es. Okay, so group 2, you would add an es. So it becomes raton, ratones. Un raton, dos ratones. Okay, so that's the second group. Un raton, dos ratones. If the group ends in a consonant, you would add es. Okay, so raton, ratones. And just as an additional note, you would lose the accent as well. Okay, from raton to ratones without the accent. Yeah. Group 3. Now this is a tricky one. If any of you remember your classroom objects, it's the same as what happens with pencil, lápiz. Okay, so pez, ending in z. If I find another fish, aquí, un pez, dos peces. Okay, so this one is about sound but also spelling. So you've got a z ending here for un pez. And when I find my second fish and I've got dos peces, it changes to a ces. Okay, so this is specifically for words that end in z. So I've already given you an example of another one, for example, pencil, lápiz. Okay, it becomes lápices. So this is the third group. Un pez becomes dos peces. So that is just solely for words that end in z. Okay, so un pez, dos peces. Great. Okay, I want you to have a little practice now. So I'm going to hold up some sentences that I'd like you to write. And what I'd like you to do then is pause the video, have a go at those sentences, and then I'll give you the answers. So just to recap, group 1, okay, for nouns ending in a vowel, you just add an s. Group 2, add an es. Those are for words ending in consonants like n's, l's, etc. And then group 3 is solely for words that end in z. You would change the z to a ces. Okay, if you need to go back and watch that section again, then do that before you have a practice. So here are your sentences to practice. So 2 rabbits, 4 monkeys, I'll bring that back a bit and then you can see it, 3 fish, 5 spiders, 6 mice, and 10 cats. And all I want you to do is have a go at writing those sentences out. If you need to go back, pick up your knowledge organizer and look at your numbers, then do that as well, okay? But this is really focusing on how you would make those animals plural, okay? So just try and remember those numbers as well. Have a little practice at writing those down and seeing if you can form them, and have a practice at saying them, and then we're going to run through the answers, okay? Muy bien. Okay, so hopefully you've had time to have a little practice and write those sentences out. So we're going to start with the first one. 2 rabbits becomes dos conejos. 4 monkeys becomes cuatro monos. 3 fish becomes tres peces. Sorry. 5 spiders becomes cinco arañas. 6 mice becomes 6 ratones. And last one, 10 cats becomes 10 gatos. Hopefully you've managed to get all of those right. Now before we go, the last thing we're going to do is try and put those animals into a sentence. So hopefully you remember tengo. Yeah, tengo, I have. It's a really useful verb to describe lots of different things, your family, your animals, and what you have in your pencil case, etc. Some of the topics that we've done already. So we're just going to put a little sentence together about your animals. So tengo, you would start, and then you just put in whatever animals you have. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. And I thought we'd recap E as well. E, remember that's pronounced E, to link together any animals if you have more than one. Great, so this is my sentence. And hopefully then you can write your own. Tengo un perro y dos peces. Tengo un perro y dos peces. So it's as simple as that to be able to put together a sentence with tengo and animals we've learnt today. Tengo un perro y dos peces. So why don't you have a go at yours now? Tengo and then your animals. Brilliant. You can either write that or just practice saying it, and hopefully you've done quite a lot today. You've recapped animals or learnt the animals from scratch. you've practiced making plurals, and you've hopefully got a sentence together. Just to say, if you don't have any animals, then you can just pop a negative in there. No tengo animales would be fine, but perhaps imagine that you do, and then you can make a really nice sentence with some animals there for practice. Fantástico. Muy bien, chicos. I hope you enjoyed meeting all my friends, and nos vemos pronto. Adiós.